Hey guys, welcome back to Lyrical Alchemy, where we explore the literary shadows behind the music. I'm Court Henson, your favorite English teacher, and today we are dissecting Lavinia's Push and Pull, one of the heaviest tracks we've ever recorded. A track that dives into the psychological torment and the duality of mankind, based around Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. This song is about the war within, the constant tension between who we are, who we fear we might become. Let's break it down, shall we? So, Robert Louis Stevenson's The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is a Gothic novella, not a novel, a novella, published in 1886, and it explores the duality of human nature through Dr. Henry Jekyll, a respected scientist who creates a potion to separate his dark impulses, manifested as the violent and uncontrollable Mr. Hyde. So the story is a chilling metaphor for repression, addiction, and the masks we wear, and Push and Pull channels that same internal conflict between peace, resentment, control, and chaos. So, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, or The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, tells the story of a London lawyer, Mr. Utterson, who investigates the strange connection between his friend, Dr. Henry Jekyll, and the violent, elusive Mr. Hyde. As the mystery unfolds, it is revealed that Jekyll created a potion to separate his darker impulses from his respectable self. And the result is Hyde, a cruel, remorseless alter ego who grows stronger with each transformation. Jekyll initially enjoys the freedom Hyde provides, but he soon loses control. Hyde commits murder, and Jekyll becomes tormented by guilt and fear. And eventually, Jekyll can no longer suppress Hyde, and the transformations begin to occur involuntarily. In the end, Jekyll takes his own life to destroy Hyde and end the horror he's unleashed. Now, this was written by Robert Louis Stevenson. Robert Louis Stevenson was a Scottish author born in 1850. He battled chronic illness for much of his life, which may have influenced his fascination with duality in the human psyche. Now, the fun fact about Jekyll and Hyde, we have no clue who inspired Hyde. It could be from a side effect from his medication. It could be his relationship with his father. We do not know. That's the incredibly kind of eerie thing about this text. He wrote this book in just a few days, reportedly after vivid nightmares, and it became an instant success. Now, Stevenson's work often explores the tension between civilization and savagery, and also morality and instinct. He also wrote famous works including Treasure Island and Kidnapped, but Jekyll and Hyde remains his most psychologically profound. All right, let's break down some of these lyrics here, okay? So, we start the song off very brutal, very heavy, in your freaking face. And I'm going to be honest with you, a fun fact about this song, anytime I perform it live, I always want to start it sooner than it actually does start. Anyways, we start the song with the lyric, locked in this darkened place, damp black walls seal your fate, a dead-eyed stare you must face, clad in sides till they're gray. This ties into Jekyll's laboratory and his mind. The darkened place is both literal and symbolic. So he's trapped by his own creation and he's clawing at the walls of his conscious. And a quote that kind of shows that is, I was slowly losing hold of my original and better self and becoming slowly incorporated with my second and worse. The song continues with a little bit more of that kind of dark, clawy, Halloween-y imagery. And we then go on to the pre-chorus, which is the Oz. I'm not going to just sing it because I'm not warmed up and it will sound terrible. And the lyric goes on to, the voices are condemned, the battle never ends. And those lines echo the psychological torment that Jekyll experiences. And the voices are his conscious, and Hyde's urges are locked in eternal combat. And a quote to support that is, it was Hyde, after all, and Hyde alone that was guilty. And that is Jekyll saying, I washed my hands of this. It was Hyde, not me. And this is kind of interesting. Jekyll never really owns up that he himself ultimately still did this, even though Hyde is the conscious part of his brain doing it. It's still him, if you think about it. Very similarly to Frankenstein. Victor Frankenstein never owned up to any of his actions in the book. And that's where characters like these make me very irritated. They never own up to their stuff. Ugh, it's very fun. But ultimately, sometimes that's human nature and we just gotta have to deal with it. So I'll suck it up, I guess, for the time being. All right, so let's continue on with the chorus. The push and pull of resentment and peace consumes you in full while you beg for release. So this is the heart of the song and the novella too. So Jekyll wants peace, but Hyde thrives on resentment and the duality consumes him. And then we go on then into the next verse. You hear an evil strain being sung with the tones of taunting hung. You think you can make it out alive without the sense of being strive. So Hyde is seductive. He kind of sings to Jekyll like he's a siren. But there's no absolution. There's no confession that can cleanse what's been done. And Jekyll is in tune to this. But he's also infatuated with Hyde and how he makes him feel. Now, there is a theory that Hyde is a younger man. He looks like a younger man. And Jekyll is older. So maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. All right. So, I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. I have not read this book in 10, 15 years. It's been a minute since I've read this. But it is one of my favorite books. Like I said, it was one of the first books that really got me into Gothic literature. I read Frankenstein first, and then I read this one immediately after at the recommendation of my high school English teacher, my senior English teacher. And it just is a big, hot mess from there. Anyways, lyrics of push and pull. We use several literary techniques, once again, to reflect the themes. So we use imagery, symbolism, and irony. So the imagery I use is like very prominent within the first verse. So you guys know that damp black walls, dead-eyed stare. They evoke this claustrophobic kind of horror and that feeling kind of that you're being choked, you can't move, right? And that's kind of representing Jekyll's descent. And also we have push and pull, resentment and peace. That's that rhythmic kind of tension that mirrors the internal struggle, that clawing at inside in your head. And speaking of that, that also represents the symbolism. So it represents guilt and the psychological toll of repression. I also have irony in there. And the irony I use is you think you can make it alive. It's tragically ironic because Jekyll doesn't survive his own experiment. And a lot of times we get so caught up with stuff, we don't survive our own brain sometimes, our own mind, our own internal struggles. And that's one that The Fall actually deals with too. It's kind of overcoming that whole internal struggle that you deal with your brain. And I'll actually do another video about more Levinia songs, not necessarily a lyrical alchemy one, but I'll do like a story time behind what the different songs mean and everything like that. Okay, so push and pull. Avi is a war within. It's the part of us that wants to be good, and it's the part that whispers otherwise. And just like Jekyll, we all wear masks. But what happens when the mask becomes the face? Comment below your favorite lyric from Push and Pull. And let's talk in the comments. Come say hi to me. I'll say hi back. Until next time, keep your soul loud and your minds sharp. This is Court Henson signing off.